computer. I'm going to assume that when I say and talk about AI, and I talk about it from the perspective of why it is that we at least have to have a rudimentary understanding of it, because of the fact we are in the midst right now as we speak, and as we all sit here listening, talking, or whatever we're doing, we're in the midst of what's referred to in the economy, in the operating of this nation and globally right now, a wealth transfer. That wealth transfer is dictated by this new disruptive improvement on how AI now is readily accessible to be interfaced with without you having to be a developer in order to use it to facilitate improvement in the way that you do business, on the level of how businesses effectively operate, and how you can take different AI applications and do things like create lead generation. Every business on the planet, in order for it to be successful, it has to have the capacity to engage people and let many people as they can know that they exist and that they have a product or a service that they can render that's valuable to a group of people. So from a business 101 standpoint, if you're not generating leads, then you're not generating opportunities to make money. So you can actually use AI to do lead generation, to do email growth, and create email campaigns for you as you reach out to the market to let people know that you're here and that you got something. Another ways you can use AI is you can actually use AI to create eye-catching viral type social media posts. And you can use AI to create compelling videos. Those are two things within an operation of a business: lead generation, and then creating the type of content necessary to get the eyes necessary to go viral, right? Viral content is anything that deals with your search, increasing your search engine optimization, like even blogs. You can create 6 months of content, create a content plan, cartoons, books, etc. What used to take 30 days to do, or a month to do, or 2 months, sometimes 6 months to do, you can do in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, right? So if you can do that in a shorter period of time, that increases your capacity for productivity, right? So we know we can create leads. I'm gonna capsulize. We can create social media posts. We can create viral type videos, cartoons. We can create books. We can create IG reels, video ads. It used to take, if you paid a content company to create your reels for you and create ads and write the scripts for your videos and all that, it would take a team of about 30 people to do the most effective creation of the content, the videos and the reels, somebody managing your social media, right? You can alleviate them 30 people, and you can do all of this with AI for real. Once you learn how to use the AI software that does that particular functionality. When it comes to sales teams, old school sales teams, you start a company, you bring in salespeople, you have or identify maybe 4 or 5 people to be your sales managers while you grow and incorporate and create an income or payroll of like 50 to 100 salespeople in order to facilitate you generating $1 million a year, right? So myself, and I think Who is on here, Who and I, back in I think in 99, 2000, whatever, when Case Internet was growing, we were one of the first few people who were on the sales force for Case Internet when they was the hottest thing in the internet industry, providing internet connectivity utilizing Quest fiber optic network. We went from 6 salespeople to 270 some salespeople in less than 2 months or a month and a half, right? And of course, those who were initially who did so real well, we made a boatload of money, right? So what I'm saying, you can now use AI to create your sales team, to do the sales, as a sales team. It can do the audits, the follow-up. It can create custom proposals. And when the follow-up, and it can read the analytics that you would look at as a sales person, the sales manager, see how many people your sales team is talking to and how many of those people they talking to are actually converting into customers. And then you track those numbers to see how effective your sales team is doing. Well, if you got an automatic AI sales team in place that's not only engaging the people, following up with the people, actually even setting them up, moving them through your whole sales process, because part of that can also be them having a chat. A lot of us now, every time we do business on something, you notice there's a chat box now. The chat box that if you have a question or you chat, half the time that's an artificial intelligence computer software application that you're interacting with, but it interacts with you as though it's a human being. And that's because of NLP, natural language processing. So we're interacting with AI all the time, whether we realize it or not. So what I'm pushing for and hoping that we understand about this whole AI opportunity, beginning with understanding how to effectively monetize ChatGPT, but that we can effectively monetize an entire operation by understanding the various AI applications for specific tasks that improves a company's capacity to make money. And when you can show them that, you can make money, right? So now my conversation has kind of went from not only monetizing ChatGPT, but monetizing artificial intelligence, period, because that's what it boils down to. So, but I just wanted to point out to you all these things are possible in order to reduce the amount of people that you would need as a business owner to effectively do something. So by me knowing this and knowing that's where we're heading as an industry throughout, and one of the things I'm attempting to do is at least give people enough of familiarity with what artificial intelligence is and what it's not, so that they don't have that anxiety associated with tripping about what it might be. Because once you realize it's merely a tool to improve the ability to do certain tasks, and the reason that it's like electricity, because you can apply it in any business operation out here. And if you got a business, you could actually, if you learn how to use AI, learn how to use ChatGPT, learn how to create sales video or video sales letters, and really know how to create content, then you alleviate copywriters, which cost you an arm and a leg for them to write your copy for you. You alleviate script writers, you alleviate all those things necessary for you to create the marketing collateral to make yourself findable to people who want your service that right now don't know you because you don't have nothing out there pushing your brand. Any questions?
One question.
Go ahead.
You gave the definite abbreviation NLP, right?
Natural language processing.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. Just as a quick go back, remember we initially talked about artificial intelligence overall is a machine or a robot or a computer software doing tasks that are usually associated with the human intellect, right? So anything that you can do with a computer or with a robot that can simulate or mimic what people usually can do, that's considered artificial intelligence. As part of that overall understanding of artificial intelligence, you have machine learning. Machine learning is when artificial intelligence has enough ability to acquire enough data to recognize patterns, which it can now predict the next move based on all of this data that it has. So it comes across as though it's thinking. And in reality, it just has an ability to access a great deal of information, a great deal of data, a great deal of seeing this data as patterns in terms of how tasks are done, how research is acquired, and all of that. Then you have deep learning. So you got artificial intelligence overall. Then you got machine learning. Then you got deep learning. Deep learning is its capacity to tap into neural networks, which mean increase accessibility to the data And then with this increased accessibility to data, part of what takes place is machine learning and deep learning, where the machine is actually training itself because of the predictive aspect of machine learning that says, okay, this is the pattern of what's previously been done. These are pictures of this type of animal. This is information that's relative to this diagnosis that I'm going to analyze when it comes to these symptoms that Watson has identified, which is going to allow me to give the probability of this being the issue that this patient is dealing with from my access and analyzing their lifelong health records, right? So, and that's applicable in all kinds of industries when it comes to information. Like one of the ways the AI was deployed, I think I mentioned it earlier, with shipping and how shipping of cargo from country to country and the lanes that these ships be going and the type of weather that they encounter, they started using artificial intelligence to analyze the weather patterns and the currents of the ocean, and that increased their capacity to ship more cargo, more items, more products from country to country in a much more efficient way by being able to miss the craziness of the weather along the shipping routes. Right? And all that has to do with its ability of both applying natural language processing, large language models, speech and computer vision. I mean, all of these things that a computer is able to do or the software is able to do based on its ability to capture data, recognize the patterns within that data, and then being able to do things maybe differently because it'll see a way in which it can modify and actually program itself based on the amount of data. So when you put artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning together, on top of algorithm being programmed by a developer, right? Which is how the developer initially, before the ability of ChatGPT with the large language model and the natural language processing combination, where now you can interface with ChatGPT like we do, and we can interface with other AI applications without being developers. Because algorithms is the step-by-step instructions that's given to computer software and that's given to robots about what it is we want it to do in the way of a task or a request or something that we require of it that we ask for, and as we drill down. So we discussed all of that in artificial intelligence overall, but as a refresher, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, large language models, algorithms, all these things come together to facilitate what's possible now. And because ChatGPT is a large language model that uses a combination of machine learning, deep learning, and NLP, natural language processing, meaning you could talk to it. You can type to it in any language. It understands and it goes out and acquires the data that you request. And it happens so fast and accurately that it allows us to utilize that information in order to facilitate some type of task, some type of activity, some type of research that allows us to be more productive in the many ways that we use our minds to create a result. Was that clear?
Yeah.
Yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So with that being said, what we're basically talking about this evening is how there are, with our fundamental understanding of AI, that there are right now as we speak, so many applications of artificial intelligence within the operation, within the sales process, within the marketing process, within the operations of companies, within that company's ability to create content, because content is king when you talk about social media, when you talk about media, period. So let me give you an example of something. The thing about artificial intelligence that allows you as a person that's in any kind of business or any kind of organization to do is it helps you create the number one thing that's necessary to be created to do business, and that's trust, right? Business 101. We all probably heard people like to do business with people they know, they like, and they trust, right? So that begins with, first of all, building trust online and doing online businesses, which translates to IRL, what I call in real life. But we know in real life, when people see you and they interact with you, if they like you because they feel like they know you, then bam, it's easily, because now they obviously know you and like you, so they do business with you, right? Now online, because of the exponential growth of the internet, it allows us a greater opportunity that transcends our geographical location or where we are at a given time and around so many people, like 100 people in a room or 500 people in a room, right? And that's a bit much if you got 500 people in a room that paid to be in that room, whatever they paid, that's 500 times whatever the cost was. So in theater, when we do plays and stuff, and like, for instance, if I do a show at Bowie Center for the Performing Arts, I know it's got 750 seats in there, right? And if I charge people $45 and it's sold out, that's $33,750 for one performance, right? So the goal is always if you got a 750 seats, then you always want to hopefully sell at least 500 of those seats, right? And that's making $22,500. And minusing the cost of the theater, that's usually about 4,000 or 5,000 at the most. So you got an opportunity with a $45 ticket to make a substantial, nice little piece of change, given what you had to invest, right? So if I say I spent $5,000 and I sold 22,500 minus 5,000 that I initially invested, that's still 17,500 for a show that day if I can get 500 seats sold. That's more than enough money to pay your cast, pay everybody associated with the event, and hopefully walk away with at least $10,000 or more, right? So that's now what I'm doing for you. Hold up. Let me see what's going on. It's the math, and that's the same thing with understanding how these people are becoming multimillionaires online by utilizing their understanding of how to utilize the tools to improve the productivity for a company, even if it's their own company or for other companies in the capacity of a consultant. But the bottom line is you're looking at it from an online standpoint, back to my original point of establishing trust. How you build trust online is like this. One, building trust online comes from your ability to being memorable, right? So being memorable means when you post whatever you post, or you talking about whatever you talking about, or you facilitating, whether you sharing information about your product, whether you are educating people in some area or arena, whether you are providing people a bridge to something that they want that you have access to. Within that communication, then you want to become memorable. You want them to say to you, hey, I remember you, or that's interesting when they first meet you and they engage your ad copy. And what it really boils down to, one of the aspects is if you got a landing page, or it's a couple of ways to do it. If it's paid ads, that means your ad gonna pop up somewhere. You're gonna be looking a certain way, saying a certain thing, and somebody say, I'm interested in that. So they click on your page and they go to your landing page, and you got something interesting that they obviously already interested in, or they wouldn't have went to your landing page. And then you got to call the action for them to give you their email address, their name, and their phone number. Now, when they give you the email address, name, and phone number, you effectively are now beginning to build the database. And over time, if you got 5,000 people, 50,000 people, 20,000 people, 10,000 people, then you have an opportunity now to convert those people to customers. That's lead generation and lead capturing, right? Before the sale is made. because you got to engage with them for them to feel like they can trust you. Part of that is being memorable, however they tap into you. And that has to do with how you market, how you look, how you say what you say, and how exciting it is that they get engaged by what they see in your video. The second part, so now that's being memorable. The second part is being omnipresent, right? Being omnipresent means that within your area of expertise or whatever it is that you do, that they can click on anything associated with what it is you're an authority in, and all of a sudden your name pop up, right? So, like, I'll use myself as an example. If somebody's looking up, if they're on IMDb and they find me, boom. But if they were to Google me, I'm in so many different areas. So like some people know me from being an author. Some people know me from being an actor. Some people know me from being a cinema director. Some people know me from being a coach. And some people they've come across me on YouTube. They come across me on Instagram. So in other words, you want to be everywhere people are when it comes to when they engage in social media. And the great thing is once you establish a certain amount of authority, every time somebody Googles something in that area, you get to the point where you pop up. That's what omnipresence is, right? Omnipresence is just the fact that you're everywhere somebody might be. If they see you on Instagram, they see you on YouTube, they see you on your website, and they just see you different places. That's establishing omnipresence, right? So if you're memorable and you got omnipresence, that's the first two ingredients to build trust online.
Well, question.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, like you were saying about omnipresent. So would that be always posting on social media about, whatever you do, or posting on Instagram if you're doing something or going somewhere or something like
Yep,
that?
that would be a part of the omnipresent.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is that you're engaging in such a way, whether you on Instagram or any other social media platform, that you are just there. You're everywhere that people might be looking up. If I look up 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐂𝐓𝐇 Muhammad, right? Where do I see 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐂𝐓𝐇 Muhammad pop up at? She pops up on IMDb. She pops up on, and you're on IMDb, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, right?
Yes.
You're on YouTube.
Yes.
See? So that's lending to your omnipresence. And then you do a lot of stuff. You just did the Maryland Black Film Festival. You do this, you do that. You got a movie coming out. All those things lend to your brand being omnipresent.
I just continue to post all the things that I'm doing, right?
I would say this, that's right, but it's an intentionality to what you post. It's not just all the things you do, but it's what's associated with the call to action that tells them they can give you money for something that you doing and something that you provide to them as value. That's a lot of times the missing piece that people don't understand, because you can be everywhere. I can watch you do what you do, but you are only entertaining me then. Whereas if you have something of value to offer me and I see you in all these places, and then you got a book out, you got a course out, you got some information that I'm willing to pay you for, right? Then that's how you actually completely begin to seriously monetize and create wealth from your omnipresence and from your activity.
Well, okay, so say for example, I don't have a book out yet, but say for example, I do have a book out, and would I just I guess have a YouTube or have something or TikTok where I would just state, oh, I have a book out, come check me out, because people probably know me because I'm already doing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I would just kind of say, hey, come on out. I mean, not come on out, but hey, check out my book or something like that.
What you would do is, the first thing you do, you would see, let me put it like this. And if this clear to you, let me know. If not, I'll elaborate.
Okay.
People like to buy things, they like to be sold to, but they don't like to feel as though you're selling them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
what you talk about more than what you selling them is what's the value of what you selling them to them.
Okay.
What's the result of what it is that you're offering in the way of a value? Like, for instance, the way I even put this, artificial intelligence clarity. That makes it, hopefully that's clear that what I'm saying is I'm going to teach you about artificial intelligence in a way that you understand it.
Right. Right.
And then,
that's good.
and then how to monetize ChatGPT. So I'm not saying, well, I'm going to teach you about ChatGPT. I'm telling you, first of all, I'm going to show you artificial intelligence clarity so you'll be clear on what it is and what it's not. And then I'm going to show you how to monetize or make money with ChatGPT. Because you don't care about ChatGPT if you can't use it to your benefit.
Yeah. And I think what really got my attention was that word clarity.
Right, right. Because that's why I put on the poll. Like, Sarab's got a brilliant flyer about the AI clarity and monetize ChatGPT, because it says demystify artificial intelligence and make money with ChatGPT. Because most people, quite frankly, are mystified by hearing all this stuff about AI this and AI that. But if they have absolutely no feeling of understanding that it's not a threat, then they start thinking all kind of stuff, that they create their own fear associated with using it as a tool, because people create anxiety around a level of unfamiliarity. And unfamiliarity is dictated by the fact you feel like, I don't know nothing about that. I hear about it all the time, but I don't know nothing about that. So then all of the rumors and all of the misconceptions about what it is come into play. And then when they have anxiety around artificial intelligence, period, and then they hear about the most impactful technology right now, which is a form of AI, they don't engage. And when they don't engage, they get left behind over time, because all of these jobs, every Yahoo Finance, Forbes, anything dealing with the economy and what's going on right now in the world is telling everybody that AI is being implemented in every area of business. Every ad you see on YouTube, every ad you see pop up on Facebook, somebody telling you some kind of AI solution that they offering. Now the colleges, if you notice, all of the schools are teaching prompt engineering, science. They teaching AI certifications and all of these things that I'm basically teaching free compared to what they charging, right? It's like it's you got to be aware of what's going on, because we done lived through, and from my perspective, I'm 68, so I done lived through no internet to the establishing of internet. I watch people make billions of dollars, like Amazon, Google, Facebook, and all that ain't even counting the ones that made millions of dollars real fast, and then they don't even exist no more. But the people that came up with those ideas got their money and gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the early adaptive phase of AI works like this, the same way the early adaptive of websites and apps and all that. The first people who adopted and begin to use it is the first people to get paid. They're the ones that make the initial millions of dollars before the technology becomes ubiquitous, meaning that everybody got it, everybody can use it, it's accessible to everybody. And now they got it. They done seen it so much, heard it so much, and touched it that now everybody familiar with it. So now they would pay you $335,000 to help you go in there and prompt engineer their business and stuff. But now in a minute, and maybe another year and a half, 2 years, maybe 3, it may be sooner, depends on the evolution of the technology and how much it's adapted, right? And how fast it's adapted. And let me give you, I got this somewhere. Let me give you an example of something so you kind of understand it. And then I'm going to teach y'all these frameworks right quick.
Yeah, but 1 second, I was gonna say I noticed when I pull up sometimes when I pull up my Google mailbox, there's something now that just started. I just saw this like last week called Copilot.
Copilot is ChatGPT for Google.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's like new.
Right.
I just saw that.
Yeah, they just adapted it in the last couple of months.
Yes. Okay.
Now, let me show you something. I'm going to share something with y'all. ChatGPT sprints to 1 million users, right? What it's talking about is the time it took for selected online services to reach 1 million users. Let me give you an example of something. In 1999, Netflix took 3.5 years before they got 1 million users, right? In 2009, Kickstarter took 2.5 years to get to 1 million users. Airbnb in 2008 took 2.5 years to get to 1 million users. Twitter in 2006 took 2 years, right, to get to 1 million users. Foursquare in 2009 took 13 months to get to 1 million users. Facebook in 2004 took 10 months to get to 1 million users. Dropbox in 2008 took 7 months to get to 1 million users. Spotify in 2008 took 5 months to get to 1 million users. Instagram took 2.5 months to get to 1 million users. And they was the fastest. But guess how long it took ChatGPT in 2022 to get to 1 million users? Anybody want to take a wild guess?
Probably about a month.
I think it was less.
Anybody else?
I think it was less than a week, wasn't it?
Yep, it was 5 days.
5 days, yeah.
That's how impactful and disruptive ChatGPT became when it was introduced to the market.
Wow.
5 days to get to 1 million users.
Oh, Lord.
You feel me? So when we talking about, and right now, this was in 2022. We in 2024. It's 2 years later. It's actually a little over a year and a half later, right? But the thing is that it's rapidly evolving while we speak. And that's why I decided to teach artificial intelligence clarity first. So you'll understand that artificial intelligence has been around since 1952. This ain't new. AI ain't new. It's just evolved to a point where it's easily adaptable because the hardware, the computer components, and the data capturing and the data capacity caught up with the concept of what artificial intelligence was. Meaning because the hardware allows you to be able to access what they call 2 billion parameters of data, which means it can basically access data throughout the entire internet, throughout any published documents that's available by virtue of its ability to capture that data. Because a lot of the stuff on the internet is the data that it has accessibility to is in all kind of institutions and all kind of areas where the information is public information. Can you imagine how much public information in terms of books, data, writings, science papers, and all that's available? ChatGPT 3, when it first came out, ChatGPT only had accessibility to like 1 million, what they call 1 million parameters. Now it has accessibility to 2 billion parameters. All that means is it can get to more information faster. Any questions? Any questions? Any comments? Any?
Gang.
What you say, Calvin? Was that you?
Game the whole night. Game.
Oh, I'm giving up game, man. You know I'm happy to do it, bro. I'm happy to do it. Okay, so before we get into these frameworks, 1, I turned y'all on the Stanford E-Corner, correct? 2, I turned you on the Harvard Innovation Labs. 3, I turned y'all on to 𝐂𝐎𝐿 corner, and now you'll be able to identify all the top people as it relates to AI technology and how it's being employed. If you just occasionally go there and check out, to click on the ones that's talking about areas of technology that you're interested in. And I guarantee you, and what you should do, I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna guarantee you, I'm gonna tell you, it'll only be guaranteed if you do it. So that means every time you see something on there about any application or implementation from any of those founders and CEOs that come back to either one of those schools talking about AI, listen to the conversation. I'm gonna say that again. Anything having to do with AI, listen to the conversation, because those are the people who are behind these accelerators and behind the people who are being or applying AI as a means to solve various problems within the economy, which right now, as we speak, AI at this point has generated $3.2 billion just in the way it has been, or 32. What is it, 32 billion? Yeah, something like that. It's even 3.2 or 32 billion. I had to go back and look at my notes. But anyway, has just on the basis of AI in this short period of time, as far as being able to interface with all these various industries, that's how much it's done impacted the economy all around us. But we ain't hearing this. What we hearing about? We hearing about football games, baseball games, basketball games. We hearing about Beyonce. We hearing about Rihanna. We hearing about Usher. We hearing about all the killings in the neighborhoods. We hearing about Trump's tripping. We hearing about Congress tripping. We hearing about all these distractive things that ain't got nothing to do with how this economy is evolving to. But that, yeah.
Hey,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No, go ahead, Mike.
when I hear this conversation, hey, what's up, man? When I hear the conversation, what it reminds me of is all those people who now kick themselves, who did not get in on the ground level of Microsoft or Windows when it first started. Like when it first started, that people could have, and that's why they said, who was it? The people that worked for I believe Microsoft, I want to say a lot of the employees, they had an option to take stock options or to get bonuses. So some of them buyouts, and so they took the stock options, and of course the rest is history. They had the most employees that became multimillionaires overnight.
Yep.
When it went to the roof. So it's like, it's kind of like, it's almost like seeing this on the ground level, or getting involved in something on the ground level before it goes, as they say, really goes public like it should. You know what I'm saying? Where people are, yeah.
That's like all the people who initially helped Zuckerberg, whatever you call that bam in Facebook, Zuckerberg. All the people that initially invested in the company, it wasn't that many, but all of them are billionaires now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's part of what I'm getting at here. And the opportunity will be, because you'll hear all these things about all these different technology companies. And I'm gonna tell you, if they talking about something that's innovative in the AI space, pay attention to that. But the beauty of it is, you come up with whatever you doing, and you implement AI into whatever you doing right now to increase your productivity, increase the speed with which you can deliver to the customer. Deliver in terms of you identifying one, who is your ideal customer, or who they call your avatar. Who's that person that gets the most out of what you have, that gets the most value out of what you have to offer, right? If that is, you don't have something to offer right now, other than your ability and your skill to do something that majority of people don't. And that's what this AI represents to you, and ChatGPT represents to you. Because now you can actually customize ChatGPT by customizing GPTs. No longer ChatGPT, but your GPT, based on how your company operates, what's the information that speaks to what your company does, how you want to market your company, and you create a GPT that specifically deals surround the information and the data that's about what you're trying to accomplish, what your company does, and how your company helps people. We had a capacity to customize right now as we speak, right? Okay, 852, let me get on these frameworks. Now, any questions before I move to these frameworks about anything I said thus far? I'm going to take that as a no.
Yeah, that's a no.
Okay, cool. So you might want to write this down. In fact, you know what? I think I'll send you these 3 frameworks. Oh, we are recording, right? Yeah, we record. No, we good. So you'll have the recording. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 3 frameworks to master ChatGPT prompt engineering, which could potentially help you make $5,000 a month. I say that because ChatGPT consultants are currently earning about $250 per hour, but to truly excel in the field, you need to acquire the right frameworks, right? So I'm going to unveil these 3 frameworks that will enable you to master ChatGPT prompt engineering and achieve an impressive income if you so desire. So let's get ready, elevate your skills, and thrive in the world of AI. Okay, the first framework I want to share with y'all is called APE, APE. That's action, purpose, and expectation, right? So action clearly outlines the specific task or activity that needs to be accomplished by using ChatGPT. Let me say that again. Action clearly outlines the specific task or activity that needs to be accomplished by using ChatGPT. Purpose. Purpose, you articulate the underlying intention or objective behind utilizing ChatGPT for this task. So, let me say that again. Purpose, articulate the underlying intention or objective behind utilizing ChatGPT for this task, right? Expectation, set forth the desired and measurable outcome that you aim to achieve through ChatGPT's application in this context. So first we got action. Clearly outline the specific task or activity that needs to be accomplished using ChatGPT. Then we got purpose. Be able to articulate the underlying intention or objective behind utilizing ChatGPT for the task. And then expectation, set forth the desired and measurable outcome that you aim to achieve through ChatGPT's application in a particular context. So as an example, let me say to ChatGPT, could you help develop a content marketing strategy for our new line of eco-friendly sports shoes? That's the action. Outlining and developing a content marketing strategy for a new line of eco-friendly sports shoes. That's the action. Then I would say, we aim to generate buzz and increase awareness among our target audience. Fitness enthusiasts passionate about sustainability. So now you've identified the action. Could you help develop a content marketing strategy for our new line of eco-friendly sports shoes? Then you identify the purpose. We aim to generate buzz and increase awareness among our target audience. Fitness enthusiasts passionate about sustainability. Then the expectation. The strategy should engage our audience, create strong brand recall, and aim to drive an increase in pre-orders by at least 25%. Any questions? So that's the first, that's the framework. Go ahead, what's the question?
No questions.
Oh, no questions. So remember that the first framework is APE, action, purpose, and expectation. So was the example clear?
Yeah, very clear.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Oh,
now
yeah.
the second framework I want to give you is called RACE, R-A-C-A, right? RACE is you identify the role. So clearly define the specific role you want ChatGPT to play in the given scenario, whether it's generating creative ideas, providing insights, or making recommendations. Identifying the role is essential, right? Let me say that again. Role. Clearly define the specific role you want ChatGPT to play in the given scenario, whether it's generating creative ideas, providing insights, or making recommendations. Identifying the role is essential. Remember when I taught y'all last time we first introduced you to ChatGPT that you tell it to act as?
Yes.
That's identifying the role, right? Now, in this particular instance, you got role first and then action. Articulate the precise action you want ChatGPT to take. This step will ensure that you set clear instructions, leading to more accurate and valuable output, right? So you identify the role you want it to take, then you articulate the precise action you want it to take. And that is step to ensure that you set clear instructions, right? And that leads to more accurate and valuable outputs. So you got role first, then you got action. Then after role and action, you got context, right? Now, context, offer relevant context surrounding the prompt to provide ChatGPT with a comprehensive understanding of the situation. This contextual information will enable the ChatGPT to generate responses that align perfectly with the given context. Let me say that again. Offer relevant context surrounding the prompt to provide ChatGPT with a comprehensive understanding of the situation. And this contextual information will enable ChatGPT to generate responses that align perfectly with the given context, right? So you got role, you got action, and you got context. So now we set expectation. Outline the expectations for ChatGPT's response by specifying the desired outcome. You will steer ChatGPT towards delivering the most effective and actionable results. Let me say that again. Outline the expectations for ChatGPT's response by specifying the desired outcome. You'll steer ChatGPT towards delivering the most effective and actionable results. So now let me give you an example of race. Imagine you are a strategic advisor. That's what I just told ChatGPT. So I just identified the role. Action. Suggest a set of high-impact, low-cost growth hacking techniques. So I gave it the role. Imagine you are a strategic advisor. I'm giving it the action. Suggest a set of high-impact, low-cost growth hacking techniques. Context. This is for an e-commerce startup with a unique range of sustainable lifestyle products, which is looking to scale up its customer base rapidly. So the role is, imagine you are a strategic advisor. The action is suggest a set of high-impact, low-cost growth hacking techniques. The context is this is for an e-commerce startup with a unique range of sustainable lifestyle products, which is looking to scale up its customer base rapidly. Now let's give it expectation. The expected outcome is a selection of practical and feasible growth hacking tactics tailored to the e-commerce industry, which can be implemented to acquire new customers and retain the existing ones effectively. So we gave it a role. Imagine you're a strategic advisor. Then we give it an action. Suggest a set of high-impact, low-cost growth hacking techniques. Then we give it a context. This is for an e-commerce startup with a unique range of sustainable lifestyle products, which is looking to scale up its customer base rapidly. And then we give it an expectation. The expected outcome is a selection of practical and feasible growth hacking tactics tailored to the e-commerce industry, which can be implemented to acquire new customers and retain the existing ones effectively. Any questions?
Yeah, my question is, as far as expectations, or maybe like I noticed how, you are very specific and detailed, but basically after everything you said at the end, as far as expectations, can you just say the expectation is to make $1 million in 6 months?
You could say that, but that's vague because there's so many ways there's so many ways generally that you could get to $1 million in 6 months. So you have to, within your expectation, give it a more concise expectation, right? Or within your expectation, give it a more concise expected outcome as a result of, right? You notice in my example, it says the expected outcome is a selection of practical and feasible growth hacking tactics tailored to the e-commerce industry, which can be implemented to acquire new customers and retain the existing ones effectively, right? So so that added a whole range of specific things that would lend to the result that we're trying to get, which ultimately is our expectation. And it's tailored to this particular e-commerce business and what this specific business is trying to achieve. Do that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, because I noticed how you were very specific on every step. I was just saying, hey, bottom line here. Okay, I just want to make that money.
But see,
okay.
But see, that's the reason that you have to acquire an understanding of how to prompt, because the vaguer you are, the less ChatGPT can give you a result that lends to the real outcome of it being valuable to you and using it as a means to acquire information. Because remember, it has such a vast reach of different data. So if I was to say to it, show me how to make $1 million, and it'll give me some abstract example, as opposed to me saying, show me how to make $1 million, and this is the current circumstance that I'm dealing with. This is how much that I'm currently making based on this volume of sales, right? The bottom line is, the more precise and concise you are in what you ask it to do, the better the result you get.
Yeah, that makes sense. I noticed that because I noticed you were very concise, but I was just looking at, okay, show me how to make this. But then my question,
you might start there. You can go ahead and say, ChatGPT, show me how to make $1 million. And it's gonna come back and give you. It's usually gonna come back and say something like, well, I'm not gonna be able to do that because there's just so many. It'll come back with something that's telling you, no, you got to be more specific.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying. I was thinking too, based on what I want to do, based on me, then I was going to just state what I want to do. And then I was saying, show me how I can make $1 million, or, no, it's not reach more people. I'm just going to be real. How do I make $1 million? And I'll do it based on my parameters.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second, because I don't want you to go away from here not clear, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Say, for instance, let me give you numbers to pay attention to. You're an author, right?
Right.
And being an author, you're writing a book currently, correct?
Yes.
How much you plan on selling your book for?
$19.99.
Okay, let's say $20, right? So $20 times 50,000 is $1 million.
Okay.
Right? $20 times 50,000 purchases is $1 million. So what you would want to ask ChatGPT to do is show you how to effectively create 50,000 customers.
Oh, okay.
And what it comes back with, then you would drill down, so whatever it come back with, then you would drill down to, okay, how do I effectively implement on this specific task? And because it's gonna break it down for you what you need to do, and then you go task by task or piece by piece of what you have to implement in order to get it done.
Okay.
And then your responsibility is to execute in the way that it's telling you, and within your execution, you'll work out what's working and what's not. Like when you hear about A/B, what we call A/B testing, when we're doing online activity, like we'll try this headline and this headline. Maybe this headline works better than that headline. And what says it works better is by how many people engage with it. So when I look at my analytics, I say, well, okay, this is working saying it this way better than me saying it this way. That's A/B testing, right?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, another question too is this: what do you think as far as, you might not have a magic ball, but
No,
what
I
do you
don't have
think,
no,
like,
I don't have no magic going on over here.
yeah, no crystal ball, that's what I meant.
Okay, go ahead.
To foresee the future. But as far as ChatGPT is there any way, or you might ask it something, or I don't know if you know the answer, but is there any way it's gonna tell you no, you can't do that? That ain't
Yeah,
working.
I have put stuff in there that it's not the way that it says no is you haven't given me enough information.
Okay.
Right. I'm not sure. Sometimes it'll say something akin to, I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to get as a result here.
No, I guess once you even gave it so I can understand it, because I noticed that too. It'll say they need more information. But what about if you gave it detailed information like you just did with us? I wonder, will it just say not possible?
No,
You know.
I haven't come across that yet.
Okay. Just wondering.
Because what we talking about here, we talking about business 101, and then just getting a clearer understanding of how we need to engage in natural language processing with ChatGPT. So one of the biggest secrets about the better results you get is your ability to drill down from the overall general to what you specifically want. Because we got a lot of ChatGPT cowboys out here, right? And what I mean by ChatGPT cowboys, they put something in ChatGPT, they get that back, and then they throw that out to the marketplace without customizing it and engaged in the real secret or expertise associated with your ability to be concise is when you take artificial intelligence along with human intelligence and put those two things together, and then you got the bomb. Because it's within your human intellect and your imagination and what it is you're trying to achieve, and the tool being able to access research information or information relative to how something is done. Those two things together, because what ChatGPT does for you as a tool is to acquire information so much faster than your ability to sit down and do that research yourself. I hope that made sense.
Oh yeah, that made a lot of sense. And also I like what you said about how we do see all these things, we bombarded with negativity and that kind of stuff that throws us off and takes the focus away from this that can really benefit us.
Right. And that's across the board. We learned a long time ago as I'm put it like it is, as Black revolutionaries. Once we figured out how we was being programmed, how we was being distracted from the means by which we really have to empower our community, then we begin to fight against that programming. And that begins with people recognizing that it is just that. It's a programming. Part of the programming is to keep you so distracted with this over here that you don't pay attention to the things that mean the most over here in terms of building institutions, building educational facilities, and engaging our young kids in such a way that they get on a path of empowerment as a path of disparity, as opposed to a path of disparity. Because we are watching, literally, Our generation is watching what that path of disparity creates with young people when they don't feel like they got no hope.
Yes. Mhm.
We actually are seeing this play out because we're watching young people kill other young people for the lack of guidance, the lack of emotional maturity, those things that family units, regardless of whether the mother and the father is separated or not, but the fact that both mother and father engage that child, and then you have other leaders in the community. Because one of the things we don't have as much as we used to have is we have these recreation centers where these young boys that didn't have fathers could attach to father figures who will tell them, hey, don't do that, don't do this, without them feeling as though you can't tell me nothing and all that crazy stuff. Kids had a certain level of respect for adults, period.
Right.
And so with that level of respect they had, and I know most of us in here, based on our ages, we experienced that. Yeah, your mother and father would tell you something, but you also knew that when you was in the street, to a certain extent, you ain't want to get caught doing shit you ain't got no business doing by people that knew your people or could possibly know your people.
Right.
So that kept us from not that we didn't do no dumb stuff, but we ain't do it in front of other adults that could potentially say something to us about it or tell our parents.
Absolutely.
And that's the reality of what we see now. It don't take no rocket science to see what has happened, along with the constant programming of bitches and guns and drugs and success being equated by your ability to hurt somebody else in some way, even if that way is selling them drugs for your edification so you can get all this material shit. All those things speak to a level of what's the word I want to use? Self-destruction. Because the one thing they fail to realize, I don't mean to preach, I ain't even mean to go here. My bad. But anyway, I'm going to say it anyway. The mere fact that these young boys and girls don't feel as though they connected to each other, then they're willing to do the most atrocious, dangerous, and devious and devilish things to each other because they don't feel like they connected. They don't feel like I want for my brother what I want for myself. They don't feel like do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. None of that shit is within the constant programming of what they're getting with the whole disrespectful to women, the whole disrespect to each other, the whole this rugged individualism about competing with other people and all that, as opposed all that shit. Oh, my friends, excuse my French. That all that stuff is destructive to us as a people. We so busy engaged in those things that separate us, that was given to us by our people that do not have our interests in mind, as opposed to understanding the value of communal thinking and collective, collaborative working together for something to improve the quality of lives for us all. So if you don't get that, especially you young and don't get it, then we see what happens as a result of that.
I agree.
So, yeah. I don't mean to sound preachy, y'all. It's just my observation.
All right, Adiyb, go ahead. Go ahead, preach.
Just my observation. Hey, what's up, Dolores?
I've been here.
I know you have. Okay. This is very important what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you framework number 3. This is one of my favorites. COAST, COAST. That's context, objective, actions, scenario, and task. Let me say that again. The framework number 3 is COAST, COAST, like the East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
It stands for C for context, O for objective, A for actions, S for scenario, and T for task, right? So, example, context. Establish a solid context for the conversation by providing necessary background information. This context will help ChatGPT comprehend the broader picture and respond accordingly. Let me say that again. Context. Establish a solid context for the conversation by providing necessary background information. And this context will help ChatGPT comprehend the broader picture and respond accordingly. O, Objective. Clearly define the specific goal you aim to achieve with ChatGPT's assistance. By outlining the objective, you empower ChatGPT to generate responses aligned with your intended purpose. Right? Let me say that again. Objective. Clearly define the specific goal you aim to achieve with ChatGPT's assistance. By outlining the objective, you empower ChatGPT to generate responses that's aligned with your intended purpose. So we got the context, then we got the objective. Action. Explain the required actions step by step. This clarity will give ChatGPT, how can I put it? This clarity will guide ChatGPT to produce more accurate and relevant outputs based on the given instructions. So we got context to establish the solid context for the conversation by providing necessary background information. That context will help ChatGPT comprehend the broader picture and respond accordingly. Then we got objective. Clearly define the specific goal you aim to achieve with ChatGPT's assistance. By outlining the objective, you empower ChatGPT to generate responses aligned with your intended purpose. And then actions, explain the required actions step by step. This clarity will guide ChatGPT to produce more accurate and relevant outputs based on the given instructions. S, scenario. Describe the particular scenario in which you want ChatGPT to operate. This helps contextualize the prompt and ensures that ChatGPT's responses are tailored to the specific situation. So we got context, objective, actions, and scenario. Last but not least is task. Detail the task or tasks GPT needs to perform. By breaking down the task into clear components, you enable ChatGPT to execute each step with precision. Oh boy, y'all ready for this example? Okay. With the advent of new policy or new privacy laws, the use of third-party data for marketing purposes has become increasingly restricted. That's the context of what I'm saying to ChatGPT. The context is, with the advent of new privacy laws, the use of third-party data for marketing purposes has become increasingly restricted. Objective. Our goal is to pivot our strategy to focus more on first-party data collection and utilization. Along with the action, this will involve setting up an efficient data collection framework on our own platforms and tailoring our marketing strategy to make the most of this data. So we got the context. With the advent of new privacy laws, the use of third-party data for marketing purposes has become increasingly restricted. So that's the context. The objective. Our goal is to pivot our strategy to focus more on first-party data collection and utilization. Action. This will involve setting up an efficient data collection framework on our own platforms and tailoring our marketing strategy to make the most of this data. Scenario. The shift in strategy is happening amidst the launch of our new product line next month. Task. Your task is to develop a detailed plan for first-party data collection and usage in our upcoming marketing campaign. Any questions about any of the frameworks? And I hope you can see how these frameworks can give you more effectiveness in terms of how you would consult by using prompt engineering based on a particular thing that you encounter within the business and your ability to place your prompt engineering into a particular framework that can get you results. Am I clear with this framework thing or am I not?
No, you're very
Yeah, clear.
So what was the first one?
8.
All right. Everybody come off mute, y'all.
Okay.
You talking about the 3 frameworks? Or you
Right.
talking
What was
about
the first framework I gave you?
The first
APE.
framework was APE.
APT.
All right. So that's what does APE stand for?
Action, purpose, expectation.
Cool. What was the second framework? Somebody other than the connector.
Racker.
Race.
Race. I got Racker. I got RAC.
All right. RACE, Dolores.
I got it. I got
Okay.
it.
You
Race.
said
what-
RACA the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you said that.
I see expert at the end, so the E, the race.
Okay. So what does it stand for?
Role,
Dolores, what does race stand for?
Oh, Dolores. Oh,
role, action, context, and expectation.
There you go. All right. So Mike,
yes, sir.
what's the third one?
Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
Oh, okay. So what does COAST stand for?
I know it's the context.
Oh Lord. Good.
Oh no, wait, hold on.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Why you say, oh Lord, then?
No, I'm just laughing the way you said it.
All right.
Go ahead, Mike.
Context, the objective, the action, the scenario, and the last damn thing is
Get it, Mike. You got it. You got it.
It starts with a T, man. Start with a T.
Lord have mercy. Can I get a lifeline? On that last
When you're
verse?
when you're working on a
Task.
project, you have
Task.
certain.
Oh, God darn it.
All right, man. All right, hold up, man.
No, it's not.
It stands for task, man.
Task. I'm sorry.
right.
I'm sorry.
So,
I apologize.
Calvin, come off mute, man. Calvin, did you step away? Cause you're on mute.
No.
All right,
I'm
so
still at work. Hold on.
oh, okay. So can you talk? No, you at work. Okay, cool. Brenda, come off mute, Brenda. You still on mute. All right, maybe she stepped away. Dr. 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶 Muhammad, what did these frameworks, if anything, do for you?
Well, they gave me an idea that how it's important to be detailed about what you want, not just a general overall description of what you want. And then also, I like how it mixes, as you said, the IT or the AI, the artificial intelligence, with the human intelligence, and I think gives you a really good quality product.
There you go. Oh, no, I see why you a doctor.
That's right.
I
Just
see
call me
why you a
doctor.
doctor, girl. You analyze, you diagnosed that thing that time.
That's right. I know how to operate. I'm
No.
just kidding.
We hear you,
You know
Kathy. We hear you.
Hey, you know what, Adiyb?
Yes.
Just to piggyback on what the doctor had to say also, I mean, she hit it on the head, but it's a structure. And I like the idea of anything begins with a structure and how you set it up. So no matter how you start it, you have a structure to start with, and how it's like it gives you the beginning, the arc, and the ending. Just like when you used to teach us about how we're creating a story,
monologue.
A monologue. You
has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
Okay, so
the structures seem like they have that where, of course you have the content. Yeah, go ahead.
The beauty of it is you really just hit on why it is that I went from teaching acting primarily to different techniques associated with the authenticity of your performance. Think about what I used to always say about acting is a representation of life. And life in the authenticity of your dialogue and your interaction, it's the emotional authenticity that people resonate with within a scene. So what we're doing now is broadening that concept so incredibly broad as it relates to our lives and as it relates to what's available in our life, that once we learn how to use it, it enhances our ability to exercise and create our exercise our creativity in a way that people will pay you. So our acting entrepreneur class evolved into an artificial intelligence clarity and how to monetize ChatGPT for a reason. And the fundamental reason is old school approach to acting had a lot to do with the struggle that actors encountered within their pursuit of being actors because of the amount of money they don't make until they get a certain amount of level of skills. So it becomes a struggle. One of the things I learned early on when I first started acting was the difference in a struggling artist and a successful actor. And Sean Pratt wrote a book, The 10 Reasons or whatever about struggling. I told y'all about that years ago. I can't even think of the name of the book right this second. But it had to do with your being able to recognize the difference between a struggling actor and a successful artist. So in order for you to be a successful artist in this day and time, you either have a job or you have already made it that you're in projects that paying you enough money to live. And that's not the reality for most actors. You see in the industry, when you pay attention to so-called A-listers and even B and C listers, you see the same people constantly being in projects, and every now and then a new person will be pushed up, right? But when you love the artistic creative part of what we do, then you want to be able to do it with a certain level of peace of mind that you're not taking away from your capacity to earn a living, to sustain your life, your family, etc. So what I'm about is, yeah, I can teach you all the acting and all of that, but I also want to caveat that by teaching you some things that you could potentially create an income so that you can comfortably do and pursue what it is that you do. And sometimes if you don't have a really, really good job paying you a nice amount of money, then you have to do what I did. Because my job don't pay me that much, right? But I've created businesses and other opportunities to generate income by providing value to people, giving people something that they want in the way of a transformation they're trying to achieve, teaching them some skills that they didn't otherwise have or have accessibility to at a reasonable rate, as opposed to just because I can teach you how to make $10,000, knowing that you don't mind paying me $1,000 to teach you how to make 10,000, but let me teach you first how to make the 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So if you pay me $100 to teach you how to make 1,000, you don't mind paying me $1,000 to teach you how to make 10,000. You don't mind paying me 10,000 to teach you how to make 100,000. And that's a 10x principle that I move on. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it
does.
makes sense to
Yeah,
me.
it does.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
And I'm going to tell all of you, each and every one of you that I care for that's on this call right now, because all of you are people that I know, like, trust, and have a certain amount of caring for. It don't matter how long I've been knowing you. It's all about the vibration and the synergy with the fact that everybody on here is about other people in some way, form, or fashion. Everybody on here right now is people that do things for other people. And when you're a person that do things for other people, opportunities will present themselves to you. And I can testify, and I got all kind of testimonials by virtue of the fact of me being a person that, not that I don't have no challenges, don't get it twisted, right? But every time something happens in my life that's challenging to me, then the universe shows me a way with which to help other people do something that alleviates my challenges.
All right.
And I'm sure each and every one of y'all can attest to that on some level.
True.
And once you
Yes.
understand that, just like macro, like what we call what's the word? Yeah. So in school, like, you learn about macro and microeconomics, right? Macroeconomics is, of course, taking in consideration the entire picture, which is usually a global picture. And microeconomics is paying attention to the smaller implications of a principle that can be applied both all to the big picture and to the little picture, right? So when you look at from the standpoint of what we do, all of us are creatives, all of us are networkers, all of us are, the number one thing we all are communicators, believe it or not. And being a communicator with the right message that moves the right people or a group or a mass of people, and our ability to communicate in such a way that our conversations can create cash flow, those two things together, and all of us are on that level where we can make millions of dollars whether we recognize it now or not.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And it's all dependent upon about your capacity to understand how your ability to communicate is the key to all of your opportunities.
Mm.
And with that, are there any questions about anything I've said this evening? Did y'all find anything I shared with y'all of value? Is everybody feeling like they got something out this class?
Oh man, I got a lot out of
Yes.
these classes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I
You still
appreciate
recording,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's recorded.
Yeah. Hey, Adiyb, it doesn't make sense. It makes dollars.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. Well,
Well, I was just gonna say, to me, it was just like the other class that I had taken. It's very easy to follow. I liked how you gave examples, and for me, it really gave me a better understanding. Thank you.
oh, well, thank you all for coming to class tonight. In April, I'm going to start the membership. Most of y'all are grandfathered into the membership, but I would appreciate if y'all come up with a figure. The people that's new to the membership going to pay $99 or $100 a month. But for y'all grandfathered in, so y'all come up with whatever y'all want to pay per month that you feel like it's worth, and we can work with that. Because you all are my examples of the fact that, you know, the class I think is valuable. I don't know. I mean, I know y'all recognize, but to the common person that when I say to them, man, you need to, I do this AI called artificial and clarity and monetizing ChatGPT, I feel as though I am precisely doing what I say that this class.
Because I can't turn it down.
All right, go ahead, Dolores. I'm hoping that my class is doing exactly what I say it does.
All right. Tina said that she invited her.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You know, and only the people who are in the class can tell me whether that's taking place or not. Because I got my opinion about it. But to you all who are actually impacted by the class in so much as that impact being you learn something maybe that you didn't know and you got a deeper clarity on this stuff, if I'm giving you that, then I'm happy. But if I'm in any way not giving you that, that's why I asked the question so many times. Are there any comments? Is there anything that need to be clear? Do I need to explain it differently? Because I'm trying to be as clear as I possibly know how to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought
No,
it was
you do.
clear.
You do. I thought it was too. And it just makes me want to do more research, like you said, and look
Right.
at those other places where I can get even more information, because I feel as though we're the few, like you said, the few that want to get in on this ground level thing, and before it really, really, really starts to take off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really glad to be in this class. I mean, it's really beneficial for everyone involved.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I actually did my class from my office tonight, so I'm still in Virginia. So
Oh, wow.
I got to get up out of here. So I really sincerely appreciate y'all. I expect y'all, if you can, to be in class tomorrow night because I got some other frameworks to share with y'all. And I got some other aspects of ChatGPT that's beginning to happen now and some other AIs to share with y'all, right? And then I'm going to have to give you some of the, which I haven't given you this. There are 4 pitfalls that I need y'all to understand that could potentially happen with AI if you're not careful. But I'm teaching you everything you need to know to prevent the pitfalls that the average user encounters and don't know how to deal with. I've already given you enough information to deal with them, but I haven't told you what the pitfalls are, which I will do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, Dag, I'm gonna miss the pitfalls. Do you think I could get a copy of the recording or something?
No, doctor.
Oh, all right.
You know I got you, girl. You know I got you.
Yeah, I'm unable to have another event on tomorrow.
Right. No problem. I know you work. You be doing the thing. I'm so proud of you. You just be getting it done. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So good night, everyone. Safe travels for those of you who are traveling, and sleep well for those of y'all who are in y'all place of residence.
Okay,
All right.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Adiyb.
Safe
Thank you,
travels to you
Adiyb.
too. Thank
Peace.
you.
All right. Peace.
Great
Good night.
class. Great class.
Good night, thank you.